Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my live stream. I do this every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific, and I am so glad that you're here. Pop your name in the chat or say hi in the chat, maybe. You don't have to put your name. And let me know you're here. I want to welcome you. Today we are going to be working on just some laid back pages, you know, because we just finished this project and it's really, really cool. And it is my layered envelope junk journal. And it's made from a manila folder. So if you have like old manila folders around, definitely. Hi, Sharon. Definitely make sure to go back and find those videos so you can use up those manila folders. I have a whole bunch from, because I'm kind of an office geek, so I have a lot of paper and weird stuff. So junk journaling like works so well for me. And so anyway, just so you know, I pretty much work off the cuff. I try to have some plans, and I'm trying to get better about that. But I tend to work off the cuff, and that might be frustrating to some people. And believe me, I get it, because, oh, I'm so glad you're here, Sharon. I'm glad. I hope that you like the live stream today. I do a lot of these, and on YouTube I do them at, at 2 p.m. Pacific every Wednesday, and at 3 p.m. Pacific I switch over to Twitch. And so if you got my email, I must have cut this or something. If you had gotten my email, then you have links to both. And if you don't, all you have to do is go to twitch.tv, and I'll repeat this, and find me at Junk Journal Boss. Okay, so I'm just going to work on some pages. I believe this is something that we did last time. These tassels, they're so pretty. They really, really jazz things up. But this time I made a couple of just funky things, cute things, and I had a few things too. So I am going to just go ahead and go for it. And let's see. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I told you guys, that this book is made from a manila folder, and basically what it does is it creates 2 extra pockets, which is really cool for embellishments or whatever. But there's a lot of places to put stuff in this journal. Like I was showing you, each one of these is a pocket, and so this one's more of a tuck, but these ones are pockets. Yes, that's okay. I mean, people can come back and watch it. I'm sure that anyone that is watching the replay, I have a lot of people that just watch replays, and that's totally cool. That's why this is here. And but I understand. I contemplated not sending that second email out, and I'm like, well, I guess it would be better to have double email in your inbox than it would be to not know what the time zone was. All right, so I made a few embellishments last time, and some of them, I showed you this one already, and And I made a few of these. I actually really can't remember where I've made certain ones, but these are what I have today to work with. And then I pulled some other stuff out that isn't made yet that I can use for other embellishments. So if I have time, I'll play around with these and just make something out of them. But I just wanted to show you my process of making a page. I'm so glad. Really, really glad, Sharon. Really glad you're here. Okay, so my process, my style is I like to use a lot of my scraps and everything. I didn't used to be that way until if you've ever been to an art and junk journal retreat, that is something that my partner Monique and I do together. And one of the ladies that presented there, Belinda Bassan, and you should find her on YouTube as well. But she's amazing. But she, just in her regular presentations, she already had the habits of just using stuff that she already had. So for her, she's more of a mixed media artist. So any papers that she had that she was like, cleaning her brush off, that was all like fodder for her journals. So I try to do that as well. And so right now I have a whole bunch of ephemera that's made, but I also have just scraps of stuff, like in little envelopes like this, and I really like to just, get creative and just pull these out and, just see what would look good. So, I actually have a couple of these. Oh, that's Christmas. We're not doing Christmas today. But so I'm rooting around in a pocket, in a drawer that I have, and I just pull my hand out, and there's all this different stuff that is 100% able to be used. But I want to go ahead and create a page from scratch, and you can just watch as I'm thinking about it and how I'm doing it, whatever I was going to say whatever you like, but really it's whatever I like. So all right, so anyway, looks like I got some glue on my pages, no big deal. And this is just a signature full of just regular paper, meaning it's got different kinds of paper. There's like parchment and just regular copy paper, and then there's other kinds of paper. And, I like using a lot of different stuff. As a matter of fact, this actually doesn't have all the variations that I usually like, but we're going to make it look good. So here's one that has a stain on it. So I'm going to start creating this page. And what I might like to do is, rather than create directly on this page, I think I'm going to create an item that goes on this page. And what I mean by that is I'm going to make one this size, at least a background, and then I'll glue it in, because it can get kind of messy. So let's go with this, and let's see. So what I want to do is make sure that whatever I put inside here is going to be a decent fit, although, it's very eclectic, so it doesn't really matter that much. So I'm looking at different things that I've just got. And just so you know what I'm looking at, this is a big envelope folder, and this is for pieces of paper that are relatively big, and that won't fit into this one, you know. And actually, I do have more than one of that, but whatever. Anyways, I'm going to pull some things out of here that I think would be interesting. And of course, I don't really need this burlap on here, but let's just chill and bring it out and just see what the brain does. Oh, I like that. Seems kind of silly to like bags, but the truth is that I like bags. You can make junk journals out of like old lunch bags and things like that, and so I love that whole thing, that whole vibe. But for now, I am going to make, and I believe this is probably just a 5.5 by 8.5. So I'm going to make it around that size. And the way to make sure that that happens is just to cut a regular sized piece of paper in half. And this is a piece of cardstock. And you know, some of the stuff that I take out of my scraps are stuff that didn't quite print out correctly or whatever. And hello, Lovey K. Do you go by Lovey K? That is so cute. If so, let's see. So, you know, these printed okay, but a lot of times I'll use things that haven't printed very well or whatever, that I didn't like, stuff like that. So we're gonna go with this. We're gonna start with that, and then we're going to just kind of put things around and see what we come up with. So, and a couple times ago, a couple sessions ago, I was making like tabs and, you know, different ways to, I was showing you guys different ways to embellish the page edge. And so there's an opportunity for this too. So what might be kind of cool to embellish the page edge is, rather than going over the page edge, which is what I usually do, and I think you probably saw some of those. Yeah, this, I went over the page edge, so it gives an interesting look to actually the whole book. You know, it's got all these different things hanging out, and it looks really fun. But this one, I think what I will do is kind of maybe do some layers here. So what that would maybe look like would be, let's see what I could do here. I'm going to go ahead and just rip this, because nothing wrong with rips. And I can just sort of start layering things and seeing what I like, you know. And when I have layered these out the way I like, then I could just embellish right on top of it, put embellishments. So let me look for another piece of interesting paper. So I kind of want to do like blue, pink, blue sort of vibe here. And so I said before that I just wanted to show you how I do things. And because the truth is that however you do it is fine. It's according to what you like, you know, not what I like. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. And as my friend Therese Bradley always says, is there is no art police. So And I love her for that, because sometimes I think we get into perfection and all that stuff. So, one second. Let me go ahead and cut some of this real quick. And, oh, you know what would be faster? This would be faster. Let's see. All right. And I can cut the other ones. Actually, let me actually rip this, and that would be, I think, better. And if you have a ruler, something like this, you could just do it like that, but it's just fine if you don't. Absolutely fine. So we're going to go ahead and see what we like here. So let's put this over here. Yeah, I think we might just do it like this and just let that be the background. Yeah, I like that idea. So here's another page that I did somewhat like that. And, you know, this would make a really nice background. It's fine just as a page, but if you wanted to put pockets or something like that on here, it would look just fine, really, you know, over this sort of thing. And that's actually one of my favorite ways to do a background, a page background. All right. All right. Hey guys, I see there is a few more of you that trickled in. Hello, I want to welcome you, and super happy you're here. This is something that I do every week, and you know, in case this is your first time, this is something I do every week, and it's free and it's fun. And I love doing it. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. Ooh, look, I forgot about this side. What about this side? Ooh, I think I might like that even better. All right, and then I can do something like this. And then I guess I can probably just, you know, embellish along that side, or if it doesn't work out that way, I can add something else. So, where's my glue? Here you are. Thanks for being here, everybody. All right, I think I'm going to just... First, I must unplug this. And I'm using Fabri-Tac today. It's not, you know, the only glue that I use. I actually have a lot of different kinds of glue, but I'm sort of a convenience person, so, you know, I tend to just just pick up what is around me. So, okay, bye Sharon. Hi Lois. Hi Turid. Oh wow, from Norway. That's amazing. That is amazing. Thank you for being here. All right. So right now, for those who just came in, I'm just building a background for a page that I'm going to embellish. So lots of times I just because, you know, I'm like that. Ooh, which side? I am like now distracted. So I think the light is a little bright, but this is sort of like it's like a, what is that called? Anyway, it's got a design on it. And then this one is more like a kind of a rainbowish design. So I think I'm going to use this side. I think I like that a lot. So, and when you are doing your junk journaling, you know, don't hesitate to change midstream if you want to. You know, if you think things are going to look better or whatever, just let your imagination and your brain just flow and tell you what to do and where to go next and all that sort of thing. It's the most fun that way. And in the beginning, it will feel like, oh, what is this that I'm making? You know, I'm not making anything that great, whatever, you know, this looks terrible, or whatever it is that you say to yourself. Don't say that stuff to yourself, because in the end, if you just keep thinking about it and working on it, you will come up with something that you like. So I am going to use some of these. I think I like this graph paper. Actually, I love graph paper. I don't really do much with it, but I just love it for some reason. But then again, I also am a paper geek. Got any other paper geeks here? When I was a little kid, my grandma took me to a city called Whittier in California here, and it was a paper company there, and I don't know how I ever lived without that place before. It's there that I found that I love paper so much, and it really is something I love working with. And so that is me. There was another piece here. I'm kind of wondering if I should... Oh, so this is the same as this. And I don't need everything to be different, but... yeah. But I do think it looks much better with this underneath it. So we're going to go with that. And this is such a great way to use up your scraps in your junk journals, because we have lots and lots of scraps, right? And even if they're like ripped weird or cut weird or whatever, you know, we can either use them as is, or we can, you know, just tear them a little bit, make them more interesting to us. And let's see. Oh, here are the embellishments that I had. So I have a few embellishments here that might look nice on this page. And so we're going to try some on. So I kind of like that, but I also kind of like that. Oh, gotcha. 100% understand, Lovey. It seems like you can't be too careful anymore, you know. That's a little dark for my taste. I don't know. Or maybe I can put it down here and then put something like this up here. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I just put this down here. And this has little itty bitty tags on it that I sewed a little bit. I've stopped being lazy and I guess that's a terrible thing to say about myself, because I do try not to criticize myself too much. But I finally got smart and started taking my machine out, or keeping it close to my desk. Hi, Amy. Welcome, welcome. And it's nice that it's right here near my desk, where I can just pick it up and put it on the desk, because then I can just do some impromptu sewing. And I think I will do that now. Let's see if I can move some stuff out of the way. And for those of you that are just joining, I am just making a junk journal page, and rather than working inside of, sorry for the noise, rather than working inside of the signature, I find that I really like to sort of build the page outside of it. And I don't know, I just like it. So I know this isn't the best, this is not the best angle for sewing, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I don't have a better way just yet. If you need me to turn off my mic because it sounds awful, then just let me know. But for now, I'll just leave it on, because I don't know, I like the sound of a sewing machine. Anybody else? All right, so here we go. And it is much easier to sew on cardstock than it is on paper. It seems like the needle sort of chews up paper, and it can do it with cardstock as well. But I have better luck with cardstock when I'm sewing on cardstock. Yeah? Okay, can you see? Yeah, there it is. And it's just a zigzag stitch. Yeah, I used one in school as well, but I'm mostly self-taught. Just, I just loved the idea of making clothes for my kids way back when. And I don't think Ezra's here yet, but I used to make clothes for Ezra, and it was just so fun. I made such cool things. And I don't know, for some reason, the sound of a sewing machine is really comforting to me. So is this, yeah, I'm lucky with this one because it has like kind of an automatic threading, but I get you. 100% I get you. And so where else can we use a little bit of stitching? The stitching is really light because I'm using white thread, but when you see it up close, it looks pretty cool. Let me do a little stitching on here so that you guys can actually see what my stitches are looking like. And believe it or not, it really is dark here, in this area, and it just looks like it's so light. Hey, L. Williams, sewing on paper, I would sew on cardstock. It seems better, but do you have any specific questions? I guess one tip is I would say, if you can envision what your page is going to look like, what you kind of want it to look like, you'll know whether or not to sew on the page first or sew on the piece first. But like I was saying before, if you're new to me, I sort of just do things off the cuff. So sometimes I'm figuring things out, and sometimes it takes longer than I like. But I'm trying to be a little more organized than that for you guys. And so I kind of knew what I was going to do today, but still, it's just the way I craft. So, no, no special needle, no type of thread, no special type of thread. The needle I'm using is just a standard, machine needle, and also just regular standard thread. Just nothing special. You certainly can use special things if you want to, but I would just work with what you have. Hey, Cheryl. Yes. Yeah, I love the sound of a sewing machine. It's just really my favorite. Well, I guess I have a lot of favorite things. So I like this the way it is. And so I'm going to go ahead and grab my... Where did I set that down? It does not take long, you guys, for me to lose everything that I'm doing. I get really into what I'm working on. Oh, I guess it's this in here. I thought it was one of the ones that I had to, or that I pulled out with, let me move this real quick. Sure. No problem. I love questions. I love sharing what I do. It's so much fun, really, to me. So if you have a, do you want to use a machine, Lois? To do this sort of thing? Because, it's not every technique is for everyone, So if you are just get way too frustrated to use a sewing machine, don't use it. Okay, so here now I've got this page, which I think is super cool. There's always an option to add more to it, but for now I love this. So there's that. Now another thing I want to do is probably make another page, and maybe I'll even use, oh, you do. Okay, so your machine then, I'm assuming, doesn't have an automatic threader, and I don't mean like an electric one, but just kind of a device that will help you to thread the machine. So this one is going to go on this side, so I'll build it outside of here. Hi, Ezzy. Welcome, Ezra. Oh, that's okay. That's all good. No problem. Ezra is my son, and he is my moderator pretty much every week. So, everybody say hi to Ezra. Okay. Let's see. So I'm going to use this page, but I want to put some of my embellishments as well. I'm seeing them. Yeah, you're doing great. All right. So these are a couple of little flower things that I made a while ago, a few weeks back, and I feel like I'm just going to go ahead and put things around the page, see what I like. Ooh, I kind of like that. And remember, this is going into like a really eclectic and bright journal. So, yeah. No auto threader. Okay. So, you probably already know this, but it would be good just to have some of those, hand needle threaders, just to keep yourself, from all the frustration. And because you know what, when you're sewing, that all the that the needle can break or whatever. Lots of things can happen with the thread. So, you know, saving yourself the frustration, you know, is probably going to let you enjoy the sewing if you want to use it in your junk journaling. This is a little too far over. How about this? All right, and so the words just says make. That's it. I don't know. I don't know. So another option can be this pocket, or let's see, I've got a little envelope here. This would be cute, huh? Even if I don't put the flower, but the flower makes it look really cute. So I think I will do this. So what I did with this was, I don't know if you can see that because the white thread again, but I sewed a little scrap of map, you know, just like one of those kind that you pick up when you go on a trip or whatever, and then I sewed right around here, just a regular straight stitch. And so now I'm going to add it down here, and let me glue this down a little bit more. And now we've got our little envelope. And what should we put inside? What should we put inside? I have some of these. And I'll just put a bunch of little bitty things in here. You know, little stuff that I might like to use in this book later. I always end up with lots and lots of extra stuff, so. All right, and so now I'm going to use a paper clip, and I almost feel like this would be a fine color just using a silver one, and I'm going to clip it. Well, wait a minute, let me do it a different way. I want to keep it closed with this paper clip, and this is just a regular old paper clip, and if I want to, I can put it over like that, but I don't want to glue it down necessarily, so I'm still kind of thinking about that flower. It's really cute, but it's redundant and it has a lot of the same colors, so I'm just not sure what I want to do. So I made this little flower I think it was last week, and I did have a little sticker in the middle, like a little pearl sticker, but I think it fell off for one thing. And so I think I'm going to go a different route and go ahead and poke a hole in the center, kind of make it, you know, a little bit bigger, because I'm going to put a brad in, and the brad will look like the center of a flower, and it will also give me an opportunity to use it in that way. So you know, in the way that I can like hook it to a page or whatever. I'm not going to do that this time though. I'm just using it for the center of the flower, and you know, it's not the prettiest, but that's okay because anything can be spruced up. So I think I'm going to just add this down here though, and then I'm going to think about what to do with the center, because I have the brad there which is holding everything together, because these are like 4 different pieces, And so if I have the brad, then, you know, it's going to look more complete, I guess. That's what I'm thinking. And but I still think I might want to do something in the center here, you know, something, and it might end up messing up the whole, you know, center of the flower thing, but I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see what I can do. So it's really great to have, you know, just a scrap jar so that you can, you know, save all these little things that you don't want to like wind back on a, you know, on a piece of cardboard, because what a pain. So I know I want to use this, but I don't know that I want to use it right here. One of my new favorite things that I like to use is flannel, you know, and just make little flannel bows. So let's see if I can do that. And the answer is yes. All right. All right. So I can put that here if I want to cover the center, but then, like I said, it takes something away from that. So I'm going to possibly put it down here, but let's set it aside until it feels right. So I can probably go to buttons or beads for the center here. And let me see if I've got anything acceptable here. And I'm kind of stealing from my Golden Book journal. Oh, you know what? I know what I'm gonna do. This is going to work, and it won't take much away from the center of the flower, but it still is something that I can use to decorate it. And all this is cotton thread. It's not like hand embroidery thread, but it's similar to it. Oh, that's a fantastic idea. Elle, I am going to do that. I love that idea. So once I finish this, I am going to use your idea and make the paperclip fancy. Okay, so I really do like this. Just real subtle, you know, just little changes that feel satisfying. So let me make sure though that I have these being the same size, and then I'll trim it a little bit later. Okay, so let's look at this and see what can be done. I can see already what can happen. Just need to open this up just a little bit, and I'm going to carefully, if I can, thread this end of the, yep, there it goes, paper clip, and then I'm just going to go ahead and there it is. What do you guys think? This is a great idea. So cute. Everybody say yay for Elle. Such a great idea. All right, so I have that. Putting all my little scraps in there, and I think I would like to perhaps use rickrack. So rickrack was like, I always looked at it as sort of a 70s thing. Does anybody else think of rickrack as You've got fans already, including myself. All right, so, but yeah, my mom used to use a lot of rickrack on the clothing that she made for me when I was little. And I always looked at it as like, oh, it's like a 70s thing, and I don't know, you know. Of course, 70s wasn't really in very much when I was younger, and except in the 70s, then it was. But anyways, that's what rickrack reminds me of, is just the 70s. And so now though, I'm looking in my stuff and I'm like, why don't I have more rickrack? So yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yes. Lois says always on my shades in the 70s. Yeah. Always on my sleeves. Oh yeah, the smooth chevrons. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I'm just going to kind of move these around and see, or move this around and see how I like it. Oh, I think I might like it this way. And so making your own page, you know, it doesn't have to be like, oh, it doesn't look like theirs, so it's not good or whatever. It's always good. It's always good. Too dark. Okay, so I sort of like this pink here. So I think what I'm going to do is cut this. And just make a little tab. And I'm going to cut it on this edge with my pinking shears, and that kind of brings the chevron in again, you know? To this side of the page. And so I can add it here, or I can add it, you know, at the bottom or whatever. I just think it looks best here. So. So a couple of tips if you want to use, if you're a seamstress or a sewer, I'm not sure what the proper term is. Ezra will know. But you can, you know, obviously you can pull buttons off of old clothing or whatever. I go to thrift stores to find the fabric that I want, and that's where I got this lace. And this is some flannel that I got from one of my mom's shirts, and she was collecting quite a bit of breast cancer type colored stuff, and this is one of the shirts that she had during that time when she was going through her cancer treatment. So yeah, I like it just kind of like this, just easy and really cute. So I was going to put it sewist. Okay, thank you. I was going to put this opposite of this other page, but since I did the tab, I really can't do that. So I'm going to have to choose a new page. Thank you, Ezra. Now we know. And I don't want to really choose any of these really neat parchment pages or whatever. I'm going to just glue this onto my regular just copy paper page, because you know, copy paper is not, it's not the most attractive, but it can be a good vehicle for junk journal pages. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Also, it's probably going to, if you haven't noticed this with glue before, it's probably going to create some rippling on this side. I don't think I use big blobs of it, but it may show rippling on the other side. Totally okay. Just do another one of these, you know. So there we go. Let's see. How about I do a couple of, I'll just do a couple little things on here. So when in the sets that Ezra and I make, I don't usually, I don't know if Ezra does, but I don't usually put holes in the tabs or the tags. So the reason for that is because if I put a hole, that means that you're going to have a tool that will allow you to punch that size hole, you know, and from this, you know, like if I was to put the hole down here, because that's where I like it, you know, you would have to be able to reach all the way over here. So to save everybody some time and frustration, I leave the holes off. And one thing that I really like to do is, because I just like easy stuff, you know, is just to staple my stuff on here. And I can make a cluster. I can leave it blank like that, or I can make a cute cluster by stapling a piece of this with it. All right, and I think I will do that, but on top of that, I might want to add something else. But for now, you know, I've got this tag. I can embellish this tag any way I like. This is kind of a cool piece right here. So, you know, maybe I cut along this edge a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be messy. And then I can let this be a tab. Another tab. Okay. And I might end up putting a tab right here. And so, you know what? Let me just cut this part off, because this isn't going to wrap around the edge, I don't think. Oh, maybe. No, it won't. So, let's see. You know what I think would be really fun is if every once in a while you guys just threw out like certain materials, you know. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking, like, what if you guys gave me suggestions, like 5 things to use in the next live stream, and I had to make some kind of embellishment out of it. I think that would be super fun. Super fun. It would be challenging. Plus, you'd be able to see how I used it. And you know what? You really actually can do that. If there's something you have in your stash that you don't know how to use, or you don't know what to do with it, if I have something similar, then I can demonstrate something. And it's really fun to see what other people do, see what other people use, and that sort of thing. I really do like the whole, you know, community thing. All right, so here's I think this is going to be my last part. Use these couple of scraps that I got laying around. If you would like to continue with me, you can head over to twitch.tv after this and do a search for Junk Journal Boss, or Ezra can probably drop the link. All right. Truly, I'm still like going, what should I do? Anyway, I'm going to hop off so I can get ready for that one and clean this up, because next time we are going to do a waterfall, and I can't think of where I have that yet. I mean, right now, hold on, let me see. Oh, maybe I have it here. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to make this next hour. Okay, so if you want to know how to do that, and it's not going to probably look as pretty as this one or whatever, it's just simply going to be, you know, the bare bones, so that you can know how to do this for yourself in the future. So I will see you over at Twitch. Thank you, Elle. Thanks for being here, everybody, and I hope to see you over at Twitch, and talk soon. Bye.